Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so I got another Pure Fiction video for you guys today, and in this season of Pure Fiction, it's all about weakness breaking the enemy, meaning that someone like Firefly will be amazing in this particular season. However, I have said in previous videos that I'm refraining from using my Firefly. Trust me, if I brought Firefly to this run, we probably could have fully cleared both sides. But instead, I decided to build up my Himiko, and I have to say, for someone that isn't fully built, she did fairly well, especially on the second half. So I'm pretty satisfied with the results. Alright, so for the first half, we have our traditional Acheron team. Well, I wouldn't say traditional, but just an Acheron team in general, with Acheron herself. This time I brought Black Swan along for the ride, Robin for the support, and Fu Xuan as her sustainer, keeping our team alive and preventing them from getting CC'd. As for the buff, I chose the third one, which is when characters launch their attack, they'll ignore the enemy's target weakness, meaning that whenever someone like even Fu Xuan and Black Swan use their ultimate, doesn't matter what the enemy is weak to, they will still break the weakness bar, which will synergize really well with the particular theme of this season of Pure Fiction. As for the second half, we have our Himiko team that I built up recently. It's basically my Firefly team, except I replaced Firefly with Himiko. I have Himiko built like a traditional DPS, so the majority of the damage that's coming from Super Break is coming from my Harmony Trailblazer. But regardless, the team is Himiko, our Harmony Trailblazer, Ruan Mei, and Gallagher as the sustain. I think if I swapped out Gallagher for Firefly, this side would have been an easy full clear. Anyways, for the buff, I chose the first one. Increase break damage taken by all enemies by 10%. If allies deal super break, which they will, due to their Harmony Trailblazer, after using an attack, additionally charges the buff, or the, the Pure Fiction buff one more point. I think this one is way stronger than the follow-up attack buff. If I'm running a secondary follow-up attacker like Herta, then obviously the second buff will be better. But since this team is still mainly based around breaking and super break, the first one is the best option. Alright, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay as usual. Okay, so we start off with Black Swan's technique, Robin's technique, Fu Xuan's technique, and we initiate the fight with Acheron's technique. We're gonna use Robin's skill. We're gonna hit the dinosaur. Any bit of weakness break to that annoying dinosaur mob is always helpful. Now we're gonna pop Acheron's ult, now that we killed off that minor mob. Alright, and that's gonna finish off this part of the wave.
What do you want to know?
Black Swan's gonna use her skill. I think I choose to hit the dinosaur because I want the defense debuff on him. Yep.
It's okay.
Robin now has her ultimate, but we're gonna save it. Because we're going to need it later. You don't want to ever pop Robin's ultimate when it's just up. You want to save it for a crucial moment when you want to advance everyone up to the action value bar, especially during Pure Fiction. Alright, so we're going to refresh the matrix here, and then thanks to the buff, or the buff that we picked, Fu Xuan's able to break everyone. This causes the turbulence to do some pretty good damage overall. Here we're going to use Acheron's skill before the ultimate, because I want to get as much weakness break onto that dinosaur so we can actually break it with the ultimate here, and then that should be enough damage to finish off this first half. Yep, and now we're on to the second wave with us being in the first cycle, so that's pretty good. Don't have any skill points, but we do have the ultimate from Black Swan now. This should kill off the majority of the mobs. We pop Robin's ultimate immediately after to advance everyone forward to top the action value. That's why we were saving it earlier. So now we all get to take another turn. I think we just kill off the mob to the side here. Or do we hit this mob? No, we hit this mob. Probably should have killed the mob off to the side there. I don't know if it was going to be enough damage, but might have been a minor misplay there. We're saving Acheron's ultimate here because I want that one mob that's about to die here very shortly to die off. Okay. And I didn't notice that the dog that was already weakness broken was at the bottom of the action value bar. But yeah, it's a little bit of overkill, but by the time he took his turn, Acheron would have taken another turn. And that's just too many Crimson Knots stacks wasted, so I decided to pop the ultimate there. Now we have to start focusing the trash can because, I mean, we have Fu Xuan, so the odds of us dying in Pure Fiction is almost slim to none. But he does do a lot of single target damage. And he's fairly easy to kill. All you have to do is weakness break him. They all seem to love hitting my Black Swan instead of Fu Xuan for some reason. At least she's getting energy. And Robin stopped singing here, but that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, they really like focusing Black Swan. Alright, there's Fu Xuan's ultimate. This is going to weakness break all the mobs and then pop the Turbulence, which clears it out as well. Really nice. Now we pop Acheron's ultimate. I might have, maybe I should have saved the ultimate here. Maybe I should have cleared out the two little spheres to the side. So that was also a little slight misplay. Also, we did a pretty bad job skill point managing our skill points, so we weren't able to use our skill there on Acheron. I think it was from earlier. Earlier, I shouldn't have skilled on Black Swan. I should have just basicked because I needed to refresh Fu Xuan's Matrix as well. So that's where our skill point issue is from that. Now we have to use a skill again on Robin. Orb dies. This one lives with like 1 HP, which is really annoying, but it happens, I guess. At the very least, it hit Fu Xuan, so that gave us a Crimson Knot stack. And we finish it off here with Fu Xuan anyways. Now we're going to pop Acheron's ultimate, since everyone's pretty much full HP. We get a nice, clean, what do you call it, clear here? Other than the dinosaur, of course, because that thing is way too tanky. And I decided to focus the two dinosaurs here to the right instead of the orbs. Initially, I was going to pick the orbs, but I realized that I'm not going to be able to kill the orbs with Acheron's skill. And those orbs will die to pretty much any ultimate from either Black Swan or Acheron, or even the Turbulence popping. So we want to like try to whittle down the two dinosaurs on the right and just completely ignore the orbs now. Because the orbs will just die from like residual, or as I like to call it, chip damage. Alright, we have Robin's ultimate here, so we're still going to save it until everyone takes their turn, until the action bar is almost done. Fu Xuan is going to break the dinosaur here. That's actually... No, not that one. Actually, we don't break it because we have our ultimate. I mean, ends up breaking him anyways. And as you can see here, the two orbs died to the Turbulence anyways, and Fu Xuan's ultimate, so we didn't need to focus on them earlier. Here's Acheron's ultimate. This should kill off at least one of the dinosaurs. Or at least almost kill off one of the dinosaurs. She's going to finish him off here with the skill. Black Swan's going to use her skill here real quick. And then we're going to immediately pop Robin's ultimate before the end of Pure Fiction so we can advance everyone forward. Fu Xuan unable to refresh the Matrix, but I don't think it's that important at this point since we're almost done. We get unlucky with the Turbulence here. All the hits went on the Cacalia instead of this annoying orb that should have died. But it didn't matter at the end. We pop Black Swan's ultimate, and then we get a clean finish here very shortly with Acheron's ultimate. I always love finishing a run with Acheron's ultimate. It's just so nice and clean. There you go. That's the first half. Alright, on to the second half. We have the Trailblazers technique, followed by Ruan Mei's technique. We set up the field with Himiko's technique, and then we initiate the fight with Gallagher's technique. Here Ruan Mei's just going to hit anything. Well, honestly, the only one that can be hit is that one. We're going to pop the ultimate here. Gallagher's going to hit that target because I want the Trailblazer to be the one that weakness breaks. Here's Himiko firing off her follow-up attack. I'm not sure if it's possible to get off the Harmony Trailblazer's ultimate before she does the follow-up attack. Maybe you can, and I'm just slow. I think you have to like press it really fast. I don't know if it's possible though. Let me know in the comments below. And there you go. There's the Turbulence doing a good amount of damage, and Himiko's follow-up. We pop Himiko's ultimate. Boom, and then there's the Turbulence again. And Himiko's follow-up again. And we're almost done with the first wave. There's another follow-up. There you go. We didn't even use up a cycle. Considering that We don't really have like a main DPS on it. I guess you can consider Himeko as the main DPS, but in reality, she doesn't do that much damage. We went through the first wave in less than a cycle, so I was pretty happy with that. Alright, there's the turbulence again.
That's all you got?
Gallagher's gonna probably hit this mob here. Almost kills it.
Still the same one. Take your positions. Let's improvise.
Miko's gonna follow up again.
The mood is set. Let the show begin.
There's a little bit of an issue here on the second wave here, is a lot of the mobs are actually not weak to fire. They're weak to ice and imaginary. And Ron May, I mean, she doesn't do that much break. Weakness break on the weakness bar.
In the mood for another
Harmony Trailblazer does, but sometimes, or not sometimes, it is RNG. It's a bounce attack instead of like just a flat amount of break bar damage you can do on the Harmony Trailblazer. So that is a little bit annoying. That's where Firefly comes in, and she can basically ignore the weakness break bar or implant the fire weakness. So I do run into a little bit of an issue later on here when I fight some of the mobs that aren't weak to fire, as you can see here shortly. This is another annoying trash can. And the trash can is actually a bit dangerous. As you can see, my Himeko is getting very low here. So Gallagher is going to need to be able to keep her alive, either using his skill or have his ultimate up here shortly. Here I think I underestimated how much energy I needed. We're a little bit short, and I start panicking here because Himeko is about to die, and I think I fat-fingered the key that causes us to go into 1x speed instead of 2x, so had some slow gameplay there. Don't worry, I did that on purpose, just to see Ron May's ultimate animation. Cap. Alright, so now, as you can see, Himeko can't weakness break any of them, because none of them, other than the one to the left, who is already weakness broken, is weak to fire. So that's one issue here. And we're forced to basically rely on the Harmony Trailblazer to weakness break them both, which takes up pretty much the entire cycle. And we had to use up the turbulence too. But anyways, that's the second wave. But it doesn't matter because Himeko pops off here. Like, you'll see very shortly. She goes crazy. She started with a follow-up attack. Here's another follow-up attack. Into an ultimate. Into a turbulence. Into another follow-up attack. Into another follow-up attack. Into a turbulence. Into another follow-up attack. When I saw this, I was like, oh wow. Now I know why she's the queen of pure fiction, and I'm really glad I built her up. Like, it was definitely well worth the resources. Like, Jesus Christ, we already hit the threshold where we have 3 stars anyways. But we can keep going. We still have 1 cycle left. It's crazy, man. Imagine if I had Firefly on this run. It would, I mean, other than having to worry about dying, we would have more than enough damage for sure.
Take your positions.
Alright, so now it's Harmony Trailblazer's turn. He's going to break that mob. Himiko's going to go crazy again. Now Gallagher should have enough for his ultimate here.
Nice like a good brew. My friends.
And that's going to pop the turbulence.
In the mood for another beating?
Going to kill this little... I think we go for the elite mob here. Because Himeko can easily break the 2 flying mobs to the side. We use Ron May's ultimate. Gonna go for the skill here. There is one issue with Himeko on Pure Fiction. Even though she does a lot of like AoE damage and clears out a lot of trash mobs, like you can see these wing mobs here. What we're lacking is some like decent single target damage. So we actually end up not killing the 2 elite mobs here. If we had someone like Firefly, like I said a million times already, would have been able to clear out this full half. And there you go. That is the second half. We finished the run with about 73k. Okay, let me go over my characters and their builds real quick. Starting off with my Acheron. These are her stats. Lycone is her signature Lycone at S1. Traces are maxed out other than the basic attack. These are her relics. I just swapped out some of the pieces that have more crit damage and no speed. Swapped out her boots for speed boots instead of attack boots, so she would have more consistent damage overall. Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 2. Next is Black Swan. This is just my regular Black Swan that I use for both Pure Fiction and very occasionally Memory of Chaos. I haven't used her in a very long time in MOC. Lycone is Eyes of the Prey at S5. These are her traces, mostly maxed out. Relics. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, next is Robin. These are her stats. Lycone is But the Battle Isn't Over at S1. Traces definitely need more work. Like I said, when the double drop comes around, or the double drop event comes around, I definitely got to work on my Robin. These are her relics. I have to say her relics are pretty cracked, honestly. Other than maybe her Planar Sphere set. This one's not that great. It's like leftover gear from my Kafka, but it's just one piece, I guess. Actually, her Planar Sphere is pretty good, too. Never mind. Probably thinking of someone else. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, moving on to Fu Xuan. I mixed up her build a little bit because it's Pure Fiction. Every little bit of damage does help out. But these are her stats. Lycone is Trend of the Universal Market at S4. I don't really want to talk about her traces. Yeah, it's a little bit sad. She's missing quite a few important nodes, and honestly, her skill should be maxed out. That's pretty important thanks to the crit rate. These are her relics. I'm running the 4-piece Longevous Disciple set for the extra crit rate, because I do want her to deal a little bit of extra damage in Pure Fiction. Survivability isn't nearly as dependent or needed in this game mode compared to something like Pure Fiction or Apocalyptic Shadow. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, and on to Himeko, the star of today's show. Let me go over her stats real quick. For her Lycone, I have her on the Seriousness of Breakfast at S5. There are definitely better free-to-play Lycones out there, but I already had this built up from the early days of playing Honkai Star Rail, and I didn't really feel like building any of the other Lycones and investing resources in enough. And I mean, she got the job done regardless, so pretty happy about that. These are her traces, not fully invested yet, definitely could use some work, missing an attack node here, and then obviously her talent should be maxed out, and I think the skill and ultimate at around level 8 should be good enough, but I think for now, she did a pretty good job with the amount of investment I put into her. Oh, there's this fire damage boost as well. For her relics, I have her on the Rutilant set, because those were the only good pieces I had for her. The Prisoner 2-piece attack set and the follow-up attack set. In terms of sets, definitely not the best in slot sets, but as you can see here, some of the pieces I have are absolutely insane, or at least pretty damn good. Like, the sets are not best in slot, but the substats and stats overall make her do a pretty good job. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, moving on. Now we have the dog, aka me. These are his stats. Lycone is Memories of the Past at S3. These are his traces, or my traces. These are his relics. I have him on a 4-piece Watchmaker set. And some of these pieces are pretty good. Especially this one here. This basically rolled perfectly. Yeah, it rolled perfectly. That's all I gotta say. 4 rolls and a speed. You don't see that every day, that's for sure. As for Eidolons, I'm at Eidolon 6. You get these Eidolons for free, so why wouldn't he be? Alright, next is Ranmei. These are her stats. I actually did change up my gear a bit for Ranmei. Lycone is Meshing Cogs at S5. Traces, finally got them pretty much maxed out, or the defense nodes and the basic attack. Alright, on to her relics. So before I had her on a 4-piece Hackerspace set with less break effect on my Firefly team, she had less break effect because she didn't really need the break effect compared to someone like the Harmony Trailblazer, because the damage boost doesn't really benefit my Firefly team, but for this specific team, the damage boost actually does benefit someone like Himeko. So I wanted to give her a little bit more break effect, at least to the point where she's able to maximize her skill for the damage boost. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. And finally, we get to the other dog, Gallagher. These are his stats. Lycone is quid pro quo at S5. These are his traces. Relics, I have him on a 2-piece speed, 2-piece break effect, and a 2-piece break effect on the planar sphere as well. The set I can never find myself to try to pronounce. But there you go. As for Eidolon, he's at Eidolon 6. Okay guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next Honkai Star Rail video. Take care, and peace.
Insistent, fleeting as the dawn's dew,